Yo, it's Trensetta, Frisco's finest, here with All Bay Music.
All right, Frisco's finest. How are you doing today?
I can't complain. I'm blessed for real.
Okay. Hell yeah. So, tell us, man, how'd you get the name Trendsetter?
To be honest, I gave that shit to myself. I remember I spent a little bit of time away from home when I was younger as a kid, and I ended up in a group home at one point, and I was just always cracking jokes and making everybody laugh and just doing funny shit. And a lot of the time, the same things that I would do, others would do, as far as just funny ass phrases or jokes, or just playing pranks on staff. Not really pranks, but just saying and doing funny shit. But yeah, I feel like that's how that name grew on me. I kind of found myself to be a trendsetter in one way, form, or another.
Got you. And so, what would you say is like the youngest age you started making music?
I say when I really started fucking with music, I'd say around 12. And then I got much heavier into it at around the age of 14 or so. And then really like dove in head fucking first when I was 24. So about like 8 or so months back.
So, from the age of 14 to 24, like what happened that steered you away from making music at the time?
Frankly, just something in me maybe just wasn't ready for it. Part of me just didn't want that. Part of me didn't want to make music, to be frank with you. Realistically, part of me did and part of me didn't.
What was the part of you that didn't? Why?
I know what the territory comes with making music. Shit's fucked up. I mean, look at how many other rappers lose their lives every year. Sometimes not even for doing shit, but just for being great.
Gotcha. So, what was it like growing up in San Francisco?
Honestly, wasn't bad at all. Most people say this, and that, but I'm from the Mission District. The way I see it, things could have been a lot worse as far as the environment I was in. Because, yeah, there's much worse places in the city as far as trying to survive and deal with day-to-day shit. But I feel I was blessed and fortunate where I grew up. Like, wasn't the absolute best, but it's far from the fucking worst. So, yeah.
Got you. Tell us your background story, as far as being raised in the Mission, like...
As far as background story goes, shit, I was born and raised there. Went to Moscone. I went to Cesar Chavez at one point. And yeah, I just grew up there my whole life. I feel like the only time I was ever really away from there was the time I spent away from home when I was a kid. But yeah, I was always getting into a little bit of trouble, getting into some bullshit, always hanging out with friends, biking, joking around, doing dumb shit. Just being kids. That's how it was. We grew up fast as fuck though, that's the thing. That's how it is in this day and age, sadly. We all grow up too fast.
When you say that little time you spent away from home, can you kind of break down that story a little bit?
I went to juvenile hall when I was 17. Got into a little bit of trouble. And, yeah, the judge sent me to a grouper after doing a few months in the halls. It was actually my first offense. So, yeah.
So you went to juvenile hall?
Yeah.
Got you. What, how much time did you do?
Not long at all, like a little bit less than 3 months in juvie, and then about a little bit under 9 months in the grouper.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so around almost a year away from home. Not super long, but kind of long.
What was that experience like?
Wasn't bad. It was humbling. I learned a lot along the way. Met a lot of cool people.
You talk to any of them?
Yeah, I still keep up with a lot of people. I still keep up with the staff that were at the grouper. Still talk to some of the old clients. I'm still cool with hella people.
Huh. Okay. So 24 comes around, and you decide to start picking it up. What kind of inspired you to start building up, the music side of your business? Like, what made you take it more serious?
Well, I was always told by friends and family and people that have heard me make music and heard me rap before that I need to drop music. I need to take it seriously. And then one day I actually received a message from the founder of All Bay Music, Ian, and next thing you know, I ended up the next day at the studio when I actually recorded 3 tracks within like a couple hour span. It was just me and him. But yeah, he heard my first song before we started recording, and he was like, you need to do something with this. You need to make music.
Yeah.
You need to take this seriously. You need to make a career out of it. You need to actually pursue it. And like me and him discussed time and time again, nothing comes easy. You gotta be patient with shit. And sometimes shit doesn't amount to everything you expect it to amount to or want it to amount to. But what really matters is the effort and the journey.
Yeah, that's true. Huh. So, you get some songs done. You release your first single?
I released my first single, I believe, late November or very early December, like December 1st. Goes by the name of Messy. I called it that because there's been times where I make jokes or I say some funny shit and I'll get called messy, even if it's not really me. And it actually just kind of reminded me of the soccer player, Messi. And yeah, it was a Latin sounding beat, so I think it just went perfectly with everything. That's still one of my favorite songs, and a lot of other people like it as well that have heard my music. That's one of their favorites as well.
How has your family life treated your new, I don't know what you call that, like your new venture into music? Like, when I say family, it could be the family, the direct family, it could be the girlfriend. How, like, what is it like with family life and having a music life?
Well, I ain't got a girlfriend, but as far as family, they respect what I do.
Yeah.
They don't really have nothing bad to say about it. I haven't showed my family my music firsthand. Maybe they've heard it through like social media outlets.
Right.
I know my dad has heard it firsthand, and he was just like, you need to stick with this. So
Gotcha.
that's something I already had planned to do, but they respect it.
Nice.
They're not over here telling me it's a waste of time or not to do it like
That's good.
many others have done to people in the past, regardless of whether it's music or whatever else they want to pursue. Some people discourage you, but they actually encourage me. They're not telling me to quit, so that's good.
What about dating life? How does dating life mesh with, like, your music career? Like, is it enhancing it? Is it making it harder? Like, talk to us.
Can I pass on that question?
Yeah, I mean, you care, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's important because, you know what? Honestly, people don't know how hard it is to, like, date while we in this business.
Put it like this. In some cases, somebody may already have a hard relationship that they're really closely connected with, but let's say you're trying to develop something new, that's going to be very, very, very difficult to maintain as an artist, as a producer, as a manager, as somebody that runs a business, as just a person who lives a busy life. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. If you're a busy person and you have shit to do, you are going to have a hard time managing that relationship unless somebody already understands your dynamic and they could follow along with it and they could go with it and they could even help you in the process. But if it's not somebody ready to build with you by your side along the way, it's going to be hard.
Got you.
It's not going to work.
There you go. All right. So, you dropped your first single, then you dropped your first album. What's the name of the album?
The name of the album, the first album is Scumbag and a Scholar, and I actually basically dropped kind of a continuation to it, but my second LP is called Still a Scumbag and Scholar. And I also have an additional LP soon coming up by the name of Stupid Dog, coming soon. I have 2 features that I dropped to it before that. Well, not features, but singles. So, yeah, one goes by the name of No Hook 2, and the other one, Anti-Hero. You can find them on any streaming platform imaginable. Just type in Trensetta, No Hook 2, or Anti-Hero, or damn near any song that pops up, so long as you see my face pop up.
Got it. So talk about the new animation video you got, which is dope, by the way. Like, respect.
Oh, right on. I appreciate it. And honestly, I don't know. That was one of the first tracks I ever recorded, and I don't know what it is that kind of inspired me to make an animated video like that. I think maybe just the creative process that I knew could go into it, because there's a whole lot of things you can't do in an actual video or even a movie. Like, there's shit that you can't make happen, but whereas with a cartoon or just like visual animation, makes things a lot easier. And in some cases, there doesn't need to be a backstory or plot to it when you're doing a music video, so long as you're keeping the person watching it enthused and entertained in the situation at hand. So if it's non-stop action or something that's super funny that's going to have them laugh, or something like that's very out there and oddballish, but they find it somewhat cool or funny or whatever, it's going to catch the person's attention. Especially like non-stop action. That's kind of what I did with my music video. Like, there wasn't really an entire plot to it. It was just like a bunch of shit going on within like a 3-minute span.
Tell the fans and the music people out there one thing about you that they might not know.
One thing about you? Well, one thing about me that you may not know. Shit. It's pretty obvious I smoke. One thing you may not know. I like to work out a lot. Well, not as much as I could, but I do like to work out. And I try and maintain somewhat of a healthy lifestyle besides this and the occasional drinking or rarity. I don't drink very often at all. Maybe every month or every even couple months. It depends.
Gotcha.
But this is daily.
FYI.
Yeah, sadly.
Okay. Hell yeah. Well, you said where we're about to go, what the new album was. So do you got any last words, shout outs?
Shit. Shout out everybody who's shown love and supported me along the way. Everybody that's helped me make music, encouraged me to make music. All Bay Studios, Ian, my producer Daysful, Mike Brown, Ugly Boy, everybody who's mixed and mastered my music, Lucci, FX. Just everybody who supported me along the way and showed me love. I appreciate y'all. Everybody who's going to continue to keep on showing love, and even future fans.